I was not aware of the safety pickup from the national runner-ups, as you mentioned there. Mishael Powell, I believe is how you would pronounce his first name. 38 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, had 6 passes defensed, had a pick 6 as well. So
Yeah,
that's a
and
nice little
again, that's
pickup.
another guy who goes to help out a position of need. Obviously, losing both safeties towards the Senior Bowl and the NFL draft. You know, he was even recruiting his secondary mate, the cornerback number 1, Muhammad, who was like, "Hey, dog, like, you know, you want to ball together? We started in the secondary somewhere else already. We got gaps at cornerback. You know, we can use additional game-ready players, right? Hey." You want to go put on a show at Miami and be a second-round draft pick and be an all-rookie pick like Tyreek Stevenson after being at a blue blood program that was playing on the biggest stage, that played for a championship, coming down and get coached by Jamil Adai, right? We've already seen that work at that very position. Don't need everybody at corner, but boss man, you want to come on down, play with your secondary mate who's transferred here to Miami. Come on with it. So yeah, there's still some things that we could develop in terms of the roster, but yeah, I mean the straw that stirs the drink is Cam Ward, and man, it's yeah, like I said, +2 on whatever you thought going into the season. We're going to talk about the schedule in a little bit, but I mean, it's very reasonable that Miami could be favored in every single game. And I know that we've been there before and we lost these games, but like, I know that it hasn't gone the way that we want it to go, but I'm going to reach over here to my right, excuse me. But you know, another team who had designs on things not going in a different way that didn't for a long time, that's seeing some things they haven't seen in forever. My Detroit Football Lions. I'm not going to say it's the exact same, right? But, and we're talking about past glory or better performance. If we're, you know, you guys are like, oh man, yeah, you're from Detroit and, you know, Michigan. Michigan won the national championship. They split the championship in 97 because there were 2 different polls, but they won the championship in 97, my sophomore year in high school. The Detroit Football Lions won a playoff game when I was in 4th grade and never in the interim until now, right? So eventually, as I've been saying with the Lions, this is the year that we lean into expectations. We embrace the challenge. We've built the roster. We have the talent, and we're going to do what we need to do. And even my friends have said, okay, let's go down the roster or down the schedule, Cam. Week 1, Thursday night, season opener across the NFL, national TV in Kansas City, ring night for the defending champions. That's a loss. And I said, oh, hey, wait. Why is that a loss? Now, did I think that it was reasonable that we would have lost? Yes, but I'm not writing off I didn't write off any single game as a loss on paper. For Miami, adding Cam Ward, adding these other guys to the roster and buoying the talent across the field. When we look at this schedule, I openly look for a game that Miami won't be favored in. Like, it's time, really time, with adding a quarterback who can be a guy to take us to these heights, lean into expectations, a la the Lions, and really get this thing going.
Falconer TRX kicking us off as always. Super sticker. Thank you, sir.
Throw up the X.
And we got Falconer coming back with this one. Thank you for the 305. Retaining roster is huge to culture in NIL era.
Yeah, man. And this is, again, how you build a program, not just a team. I'm looking at you, Deion Sanders, right? Like, we have the ability to hopefully build on this year over year. And again, even if you're talking about the offensive line, right? You bring in a starter, you know, a 20-plus game starter in Zach Carpenter, right? I forget the guy's name from Washington, but again, he's like a 20, almost 30-game starter at left guard. Just started this past year on one of the most explosive offenses in football. You retain, and then on top of your retention, like I said, all 3 other starting linemen, Rivers, Cooper, and Maui Noah. Now, again, I know you're thinking to yourself, yeah, they weren't going to go anywhere. In the area of NIL, says who? but you retain the guys who are there to be retained. You add in players in certain places, and yeah, man, like we're one more top 5 recruiting class away from, in 3 years with transfers added on top, Mario completely flipping this roster and really having it look like he wants it to look.
I'm not finding this Washington guard out of the 10 incoming transfers.
Nate Kalepo.
Okay, I know that name from watching the playoff games, but I don't.
Well, he was on an official visit. Maybe it's not official yet.
He's not on the 247 list,
right? Well, I know that he was down for an official visit.
Okay,
so maybe I oversold it, but I thought that I'd seen that he had or was going to, or widely thought to be transferring there, so to Miami. So maybe I went a little bit too far, but I think that's about to happen. Love all the cam on cam discussion. Yeah, man. Falcon and TRX, we have that, and it's funny. I was writing an email to someone at the Secret Day Job, and they emailed me back, and they spelled it like the rapper, CAM''RON, and then came back. It was just like, oh, hey, we have somebody on site here whose name is your name, but spelled in the way. And I'm like, it's all good. I understand, but it's fine.
All right, folks, we do this on Wednesday nights with Cam Underwood from State of the U. 362 shows in the books. Appreciate you being here, and do all that you can to help us continue to build and grow and be here every Wednesday night. That starts with a like. That's easy to do. Just hit the like button. Tell folks that that love Miami football, that love college football, because we've got fans from other fan bases that want to join the conversation, to stop by. Hey, you can still stop by tonight or get them back here next Wednesday, 7 Eastern time. All right, time to check out the ACC schedule release. And with all of the marketing nightmares.
Pause. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers.
Yes.
I just saw that. So, and I just saw my group chat was going crazy. I do not know off the top of my head if we can get any of the guys on the Michigan roster, but like the Alabama and Washington rosters, I am down to evaluate pretty much everybody. Particularly at positions that we could use. I would be shocked if they do not promote Sharon Moore to keep the good vibes going there. But this is one of those live reaction things, guys. Like I said, my phone was going crazy. I looked down and saw that. So another transition period in the world of college football at the very top for the champion Wolverines. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something that, even though it's pretty obvious, I guess I didn't process it with these two portal windows, the one after the season and the one after spring practice, that, oh yeah, this could be extended by coach leaving. And if obviously it's been the domino effect with Nick Saban retiring, Alabama's open, Washington coach leaves, Washington's open, Arizona coach leaves, goes to Washington, Arizona's open, San Jose State coach goes to Arizona, and finally Ken Niumatalolo, the former Navy coach, leaves to plug the hole at San Jose State. So that stopped the domino effect. But 4 job openings has released all these players into the portal, which also underlines that even in this NIL era, that these players are attached to the coach, and they are attached to the system and what they've been sold and the relationships that have been built. And so many go ahead and look for another opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, and you see all of these players following their coaches around the country, as they should, like they're recruited by that guy to, play a specific role in their organizations and their programs moving forward. But yeah, interesting. Like I said, I literally just saw that. So I don't have anybody off the top of my head, and especially like super top end of the roster guys. I don't see them necessarily leaving Michigan, fresh off of a championship and everything. But I mean, if they, and like, you know, players have 30 days window after a coach leaves, retires, either whatever, to hop into the portal. So we have until the end of February to adjudicate that with Michigan, and we will see. But, you know, Michigan has a strong offensive line. So if there's some offensive linemen, again, talking about building a consistent elite group for many, many years, and some of those defensive linemen would be nice. But hey, we'll see.